Today on People with Passion for Pets, we talk to Angela Lambru. Angela is the creator of The Kit Bull Story, a fictional podcast that tells the story around a rescue pit bull named Kid. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Angela.
Hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to
meet
see you
again.
Nice to meet you too, and welcome to People with Passion for Pets. We're so excited to have you.
I'm very excited to be here. I think what you guys do is great, and it's wonderful that like-minded people can get together and push the message forward.
That's exactly
yes,
right.
and that's such a great introduction because Angela, you are the creator of a podcast called The Kit Bull Story, and it is actually a fictional podcast. So you're telling the story of a pit bull that is a rescue dog, and we'll go more into the story a little bit later. But what I love about it is you really have a passion for educating the public about pets and other animals and the way that sometimes pets are mistreated or not treated correctly. And so with your stories, you are in a very sometimes humorous way, in a sometimes indirect way, you're really making sure people understand and are better educated. So that's why I'm glad to have you and glad to talk to you.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really glad to be here. Yes. I have always been looking for a vehicle to, get the message across and let people know about, it's not right to treat animals a certain way, and unfortunately, some people just don't know. Some people are ignorant and some people just don't care. And, I have tried different ways. I've been involved in animal rescue since I was a kid. I did my first rescue when I was, 6 or 7 years old. I happened to find a bird that was in a garbage can and it had oil all over it. And my mother helped me to clean the bird up and we got the bird to the point where it was able to fly. And so that was really a gratifying feeling. And I've been doing animal rescue, not only on my own, but with groups and organizations, voice my opinion on social media about animal issues, whatever I can do. But, you want to reach more people at the same time. You want to be able to talk to more people, because one-on-one is just not working. At least I felt it wasn't working for me. I had written a short story about a pit bull that was a bit more graphic than the Kit Bull story is today. But I used that as a starting point. In a way, the pandemic was a blessing in disguise because, we had all this wonderful free time. So I started this project, and let me just tell you, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world. It was very complex because, number one, I had no idea what a podcast was, and so I had to start from scratch. But even before thinking about podcasting, I really wanted to make a short film. That was my first intention. Couldn't believe how expensive it is. So it took a lot of work. And then I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to give up. I want to do this so badly. And so I started looking for another vehicle, and podcasting sort of popped up.
Yeah, so let's talk real quick just for our listeners and viewers, because I know they're kind of going, well, what is the Kit Bull Story? So it's a podcast, it's a fictional podcast, very short episodes. And the backstory is a little pit bull female that is a rescue dog ends up with this beautiful lady that runs a doggy daycare, right? And so that's sort of the backstory. And so from there on, you have this beautiful canvas to have all these stories of all these different animals coming in. So tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea.
Right. So as I said, the original story was really graphic. So I wanted to tone it down, and I wanted to make it entertaining. I wanted to make it fun. I wanted to make it not only for adults, but for a young listener.
What I like about it, and I guess I kind of want our listeners to be a little bit more familiar with the podcast itself, is that it's not just like most podcasts is like ours. It's, it's 2 or 3 people talking, but you have actors, you have all these different people, all these different characters.
Yes.
And you don't just have the people talking, you have the animals talking as well. So it's right. So there's that part of the people interactions and their perspective on right. how they see their animals. And then you have the perspective of the animals and how they see their owners and their lives. So I just love that premise.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I was struggling with how to, bring the message across. And I wanted to bring it from both the animal's perspective and of course, the human perspective. And I found that Rose was the perfect person to kind of be at the helm of this whole thing. And
so Rose is the owner of the pit bull, and she is the owner of the doggy daycare. Okay.
Yeah, right. She's.
I know you and I know it, but I know there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that hopefully will get interested. Yeah.
No, I'm going to get to that. So Rose is the owner of Wild in the City Doggy Daycare. And she's a very kind and wise woman. And she took Kit in, she took Kit when, she was brought in by these rescuers who rehabilitated her. And that became her new home, her forever home. And she found that Kit had this ability to make the dogs feel comfortable and to change their ways, if they came in, with some kind of an attitude, whatever it was, if they were aggressive or if they were whatever it was that they were, being around Kit, they were able to change. So Rose would work on the humans, Kit would work on the animals, and that's how we got the message across. And there's a group of 6 dogs called the West Side Bunch. And they come in and they're owned by rich people on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Okay. And believe me, all this is based on my observations, my talking to people. Okay. This is all based on what I see and what I talk to people on the street about. And so these dogs all have these horrific hangups, these poor animals. And I know because I've been a cat sitter. And I've taken care of cats that are on Prozac. So some of the characters of the West Side Bunch, one of them is on Prozac. One of them, his dad, her dad, has her caged all the time. And she's a bloodhound, and she can't even use her sense of smell, and that's so important to a dog. And then there are other characters that drop in. For example, there's I have a character, Officer Brewski is the cop, and Maximilian is the dog. And so Maximilian comes into Wild in the City because Officer Brewski thinks that the pooch is worthless, and he wants him, to take a break, but if he's not working, he's going to get rid of him. So Rose works with Officer Brewski, and Kit works with Maximilian, and gets to the point where the dog was stuttering. I made him a stuttering dog. And
and again, that's what I love about it. I mean, you take these very serious issues, which we all know, and we're all in the doggy world where dog trainers, behaviorists, we know that there are some things that you just want to go and change, but you take them into this concept of humorous fictional characters, and yet you are bringing across a story and making people aware of certain things. I loved one of your first episodes is about a poodle that has to go to the beauty parlor all the time, and sort of the backstory on that. And I thought that was really, really cute. So I really like the premise. Also, one of the things is it's all set up in a doggy daycare, and doggy daycares, of course, that's something that's very, very popular these days. That's a really positive thing too, because we as dog trainers, we oftentimes try to tell the people that may not have the time to walk their dogs or socialize their dogs about doggy daycare. So it's kind of a good premise.
Oh, why? I didn't take that into account, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I've been to a couple of doggy daycares, and I find the same thing. I mean, I find people that are just doing it because they're working. It's a job. I like the whole story of it taking place at the doggy daycare. And to get back to what you were saying about the very first encounter that Kit had was with Chanel. She's a French poodle, and she's owned by Fran, who is Rose's best friend. Fran is unaware that Chanel doesn't want to have all these poofy hairdos and wear all this bling around her neck and have her nails painted and, look like this little poofy doll all the time. She wants to play. She wants to be a dog. That's one of the messages. It's, is what's important to them and for them. Through the working between Rose working and talking to Fran and Kit talking to Chanel, they work it out where, she's able to be the dog that she has always been.
She was born to be. Yes.
It's
beautiful.
She gets out there. She gets out there, and she wanted to play. She wanted to get dirty, and she didn't want to do all that other stuff.
Yeah, it's great. And I know there's another story that I really loved, and it was about kind of a rescue puppy litter, and how Rose is, screening the to be adopters. So that was really good. But again, I love you definitely going into some serious issues about becoming a dog owner. It's very important. It's definitely something that we like to raise awareness. It's important to choose the right type of dog for your lifestyle. Also, I like that episode very much as well.
Absolutely. And one of the episodes that kind of touches on what you just said right now, Mila, the bloodhound, Rose is trying to talk to her father, and his name is Mr. Holder, because, he's always holding her very tight. He always has a leash on her. He has a choker on her. He has her caged in. He doesn't let her, be free. In one of the later episodes, when they're revisited, Rose is trying to tell Mr. Holder, well, why didn't you get a dog like this? If that dog has to go to the bathroom, the dog needs to stretch their legs, they can't just be stuck in a cage like, 8 hours until you come home, and more than 8 hours. It's just, again, to bring awareness to people about, simple situations. And people get animals for the dumbest reasons, and it's not always easy. And that's why I'm grateful for my podcast, because I'm able to get everything out and put it in a way that hopefully people will be able to see it and appreciate it, and find value in the stories.
I guess one of my questions for you was, are you coming up with all of these stories yourself? So you're writing all the stories?
Yes, I write all the stories. Like I said, I never have a blank head as to what I'm going to write. Yeah, I mean, you can go outside and you can talk to people, and you can just even just walking and observing the way people hold their dog on a leash, or the way they hold them in their hands, or the way they have their dog dressed, or the way they talk to their dog. That's where I get my stories. But there are also cats in the story, not just dogs.
Yeah, and that was going to be one of my next questions for you. Is it's not just dogs.
Right.
Any chance of getting other animals involved as well in your future stories?
I want to get all kinds of animals. Yeah. And that's, that's the beauty of having like outside characters like Officer Brewski. We're going to have Officer Brewski on a horse, and the horse is going to have some issues. And, birds. Birds are going to be coming into, they're going to be coming into Wild in the City. They're going to be talking to, Kid. Kid has learned a lot about cats through Scat, the stray cat. He's a New York street cat. He's very wise, and he's a loner. He wants to be on his own, and all Kid wants to do is to get him a forever home. And every time she puts that out, he like, see ya. He takes off. But yeah, and the great thing about Scat is that their interaction is through him. You get to learn a lot about cats. Instead of me bringing in a bunch of characters, like more characters, which would probably drive me nuts. That would be like 20 voice actors. I am telling the stories through Scat. So Scat, cats live in colonies, and he goes and visits his cat friends that live in homes, and the cats that live in, on the street as well, the other strays. So he's able to get all of this information about cats. Kit is through Scat, and I think that works well. At least it works best for me.
I'm kind of curious, how do you get your voice actors? Are they friends and families and neighbors, acquaintances?
No, I did a serious audition for that. I put out an ad on Backstage, and I auditioned. I mean, I got like over 200 requests to audition. I had an idea of what I wanted each character to sound like. And I think that I really, really got a good group of voice actors, a good cast. They do a phenomenal job.
And for our audience, if you go to Angela's website, you can actually see some of the staff there. So there's a staff page, and you can see all of the different characters. One of my favorites is the little Chihuahua. What's his name?
Everybody loves him.
Yeah, it's just a great. He's got that little accent too, and he's got quite a bit of an attitude. He's got that little dog attitude. He's like, yeah, you guys, So he's very cute.
Yeah, no, I wanted. Funny thing is that with the character, the Chiquito character, I wanted him to have something of a little bit of a gangster, almost like a James Cagney type of, So that's why he comes out in a couple of times and says, "You rats," you know what I mean? Yeah, I want it to be fun. I want it to be funny. But I wanted it to make a point, to send a message, and I hope people see the value in it. I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm definitely a fan, and love it's kind of neat too that the episodes are very short. So definitely you can, you kind of get sucked in though, and then you want to like listen to more. But it's just a great way to portray that, and the fact that you do have different actors makes it very much alive, and different characters is definitely adds to the story and makes it very, very exciting to listen to. So I just highly recommend it to anybody. If you're interested, if you love animals, go to Angela's website. Again, the website is thekitbullstory.com, but you can find it on all the major podcast channels as well. But it's definitely worthwhile listening to, and I'm excited to hear the third season.
Well, thank you so much.
Can you give us a little taste? What's coming up? I'm like,
well, I mean, I want to continue with, with my observations and, my experiences, whatever it is that I can pick up, like, this is like, what's it called? Law and Order, ripped from the pages of, of the whatever.
These are some
script,
real stories.
Yeah, yeah, ripped from the pages of life. As I said, I want to involve, like you asked me before, more animals, bring some more animals into the story. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the very last episode 20 of the last season.
I was afraid you were going to make it a cliffhanger, and I wanted to keep that one for a week.
Oh, that's an idea. You just gave me an idea.
Oh.
I'm like, how when you watch these TV shows and you're like, I'm not going to watch the last episode until they come out with the first episode of the new season, because I can't handle that.
The dog's running down the street.
Yeah, no, I was like, sorry, I'm gonna wait. I'm sorry.
But that. No, I like that idea.
Oh,
I
good
think I'm
job,
gonna take
honey.
it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that for the next one. No, I closed it out with with a really special message. It was
all right. So for all of our
special.
listeners, you're safe to listen to all of season 2. You don't have to be like me and keep that last episode, in the back pocket for when the new season starts. So, if you ever need to bounce off, we used to be horse owners for a very long time. And Jim has worked with the police department in San Diego, many years ago. So if you ever need to bounce off any ideas, we'll always there for you.
Perfect.
So tell us a little bit, Angela, about your. So you said you're a cat sitter also. Do you have cats yourself?
I do.
Okay.
Marmalade, come here.
Marmalade.
That's Marmalade. So his full
Marmalade.
name is Marmalito Mermelada. Marmalade. Okay, but I call him Marmalade for short. And this guy is a character and a half. In fact, I've used his picture to as like that's Scat. Like I drew the picture of Scat in my head through his look. He's an orange cat. And I've had dogs and cats, and I've had mice, I've had frogs, I've had all kinds of pets. I haven't had horses. I wish I had. I've had all kinds of animals, and I wish I could have more, but it's expensive. Number one, it's not easy in an apartment to have.
Now, do you live in a big city? I know you're on the East Coast, but you're in the city. Okay.
I live in New York City.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, out here, potbelly pigs are like the rave right now, right? They're very much dog-like, so people kind of go into potbelly pigs. Is that a thing on the East Coast too?
No.
What's a potbelly, right? What's a potbelly?
I'm aware of potbelly. They are the cutest little things. I wish I could have them. They're so smart. I've seen some really funny stories on the dodo.
So awesome. Yeah. And again, it's such a neat podcast. So for anybody listening, check it out. Go to the website or find it on your favorite podcast player. It's called The Kit Bull Story. And it's all about a rescue pit bull that's now living with a lady. Her name is Rose, and they have a doggy daycare, and all kinds of wonderful characters are coming in and they're interacting. So thank you again for being on the show, Angela. It was such a pleasure.
Oh my goodness, it was so much fun being here. Thank you so much, and thank you for what you do as well. I think that it's wonderful, and for having me on your show, your wonderful show. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on People with Passion for Pets. We're Jim and Bee Walker, and we share the adventure of life with our dog Apollo and Heidi. For more adventure videos, check out our YouTube channel, Modern Canine Vlog, or visit our website, www.mcs.dog. And until next time, keep your paws on the road.